Well, hello everyone. Are we feeling fabulous tonight? Hopefully you can hear me. So much fun losing my marbles tonight. So much fun. I have my trapped ruby sip and think mug tonight. Because think about it. If we're losing our marbles, are we trapped? Do we feel trapped? I got my candle going. And make sure my sage is going. Make sure it's going. So I don't know if you can see it, but I have love on my brain. I got a lot going on. I got my dream catcher hanging off of my earrings. My earrings tonight have lions on them, which stand for courage and strength. I have my husband's handmade wampum necklace, my Hawaii wrap, my Florida Miss Fabulous hot pink shirt, my native wrap, peacock feathers, and yes, my bow and arrow from Arizona. It's like someone just shot an arrow through my head. Ha! So we have our sage going. We have our candle going. Let's pop open one of these dream cards. See what our dreams are today. Considering that we're losing our marbles. You know? Overwhelmed with arrows being shot at us from left and right. Downwards, upwards, sideways, all over the place. Lucky mine just barely scalped my head. Okay. Back of these little dream affirmation cards say nothing is impossible. All right. So I'm going to take this one. Teaspoons away. In dreams and in love, there are no impossibilities. In dreams and in love, there are no impossibilities. Janos Arani. Told ya, I have love on my brain. All right. So it's kind of funny, like, I have like a little outline of what we can talk about today. And I was remembering the comfort zone template here that came over from Africa for how they dealt with COVID in their country. And I'm looking at it, and the comfort zone is where we feel safe and in control. The fear zone is where we lack self-confidence, find excuses, and we are affected by others' opinions. So when we talk about, are we losing our marbles yet? Are we losing our marbles because we don't feel safe and we're not in control? Or is it that we're losing our marbles because we lack self-confidence? We're affected by other people's opinions? And we find excuses. I mean, is that why we're losing our marbles? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. Think about it. That's what Sip and Think is all about. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, at some point or another, you have to put a wall up so that you can collect your own thoughts and collect your own feelings. When you have so many other people's thoughts and opinions and everything else going on all at once, how can you really think logically? Like, seriously. Like, imagine you have a pitcher of water and you start filling the water, like you turn the faucet on and the water starts filling up the pitcher. You walk away to go do something else, and when you come back, the water is overflowing the pitcher. It can't hold it anymore. And it just keeps flowing out and flowing out and flowing out and flowing out. And you're like, oh my God, I got to turn the faucet off. It's the same thing when we become overwhelmed and when we feel like we're losing our marbles. There's got to be a release of some sort, and there has to be a way to turn the faucet off. I'm not saying turn it off completely, but there has to be a way to turn it off so that the water stays at a certain line. I don't know if that goes into like crossing boundaries and all that. I don't know. I'm not trying to get off topic here, but for me, when I have way too many things going on at once, I can feel like I'm losing my marbles because I can't even take the information in. There's just too much coming in. So I'll have to say, nope, I'll call them back. Nope, I'll handle that when I get home. Like, you have to have certain boundaries because there's only so much a person can take, you know? So I'm just saying for our Sip and Think to think about, you know, where are your boundaries? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Do you feel like you've lost your marbles considering the pandemic? I mean, are you really reevaluating yourself and your life? You know? So where are you at? Do you have an arrow going across your head? And then I researched a little bit more, and I started taking my own experiences and my own thoughts and adding into the outline as well, right? So it's just a guide for me. And sometimes when we feel like we've lost our marbles, it could be that we're not where we thought we'd be at this day and time or at our age, whatever it is. Which then kind of leads me to feeling safe and in control in your comfort zone. If you're not where you wanted to be, where you thought you would be, you have to evaluate that. And you have to wonder, was it something out of my control? That's not where I'm not where I wanted to be? Or is it because of something I did or I didn't do? You know? Again, losing our marbles. I didn't have any marbles with me today other than the ones in my brain. Inside in the membrane, like House of Pain. The fear zone says finding excuses. Why do motivational speakers say no excuses? So here's the other thing I want to think about. If you're not where you thought you would be, and you don't want to have an excuse, is it that where you thought you would be was realistic or non-realistic? Just wondering. Like, what lens were you looking at it through? Like, think about it. What lens? I mean, the reason I'm saying it like this is because imagine that, you were a Boston Marathon runner and, now you're in a wheelchair because of the bombings at the marathon, right? Well, that was out of your control. You know what I mean? And if you're still here, then you have a purpose. Something that I can dive deeper into, but I really don't want to offend anyone. Now, would you think that's an excuse? Think about it. So, I also wanted to kind of talk tonight about trying to regroup ourselves when we start losing our marbles. Like, we've gotten to the point where we've lost our marbles, the water's overflowing in the pitcher, and there's water going everywhere, and we finally exploded, whether it's at the bar, but bars aren't completely open everywhere. So how do I release myself? Do I just shut the water off and that's it? And then hold it all inside? Do I exercise? Do I clean? What can I do? I feel so limited. I can't do what I used to do. But I'm not where I thought I was going to be at 44. So regrouping is to reassemble or cause to reassemble into organized groups, typically after being attacked or defeated. Well, you can be attacked or defeated, brought to the ground, go to the hospital does surgery, fixes you up, and then sends you to rehab. So regroup is almost like a rehab, right? But not only do they have to regroup your physical ailment and let your body heal, it's an emotional regrouping and healing. It's a mental regrouping and healing. And it's a spiritual one. Think on that one. What does it mean to regroup yourself? To stop for a short period of time and prepare yourself before you continue doing something that is difficult. To stop and think, reorganize, etc. before continuing. So these definitions I'm saying right now came from the dictionary. So they're saying that to regroup yourself is to stop for a short period of time, to reorganize yourself and prepare. So if the water is overflowing in the pitcher, you're going to stop the water. You're going to shut it off. You're going to regroup. You're going to clean up the water that wasn't in the pitcher. And you're going to reevaluate. Maybe you have the wrong pitcher. Maybe the pitcher has a hole in it. You know? If you keep filling a pitcher that has a hole in the bottom, and it doesn't hold the water, then you need to get a new pitcher. How do you get a new pitcher? Go to the store. You look online. So before you turn the water back on, you prepare yourself. You get a pitcher that doesn't have a hole in it. And no, that is not the only way to prepare. Prepare to make something ready for use or consideration. So before I lost my marbles on video tonight, I prepared myself. Now, I naturally can lose my marbles. Believe me, I could go to the store like this. However, I value my husband's opinion and I would not want to embarrass him, although he's used to it. Same thing with my children. It's no different than going out for Halloween. It's just today's not Halloween. When I lose my marbles, there's a lot of emotions involved to the point where I can't even control my emotions. And I just don't give a flying F about anybody or anything. Like, seriously. So, prepare. It says, make by a reaction or series of reactions. Make ready or able to do or deal with something. Be willing to do something. Reorganize. Okay, so if we're feeling safe and we're in control in our comfort zone, but we don't like where we are in life, in order for us to get to where we want to be, we need to reorganize ourselves and step out of the comfort zone. So we're going to be stepping into the fear zone. And sometimes that anxiety goes through our body and it makes us feel uncomfortable. That fear stage. But yet, unless I go through that fear stage, I step into the fear, I'm never going to get to where I said I wanted to be. So I have to figure out what I'm fearing and why. What are the contributors to that fear? You hear all the time, I don't fear nothing. My God is better than anything. I don't fear nothing. But people do fear. They do fear that space between the comfort zone and where the magic happens. They do. Now, when I was a little girl and I was learning how to ride a bike without training wheels, I had no fear. No fear whatsoever. When I'm drinking and I've lost my marbles, I have no fear whatsoever. So then why would I be so concerned when I'm sober about not doing what it is I believe I should be doing? Am I hurting anyone? I hope not. Am I offending anyone? I hope not. Am I doing what I believe to be right? Am I following my dreams and my purpose? Are my dreams and my purpose one? Or do they kind of ping pong off each other? You know? So, do I really need to reorganize myself? Do I? Am I really that insane that everybody thinks? Do I not have a good head on my shoulders? I question that a lot. I question that an awful lot. I wonder why, if I feel I'm doing the right thing, why I care what other people's opinions are. I really don't understand why that bothers me. Because I'm a caring person and I care about how they feel. But at the same time, I'm not deliberately hurting you. So why are you turning things around and trying to make it seem like I'm doing this to you? When in reality, you've lost your marbles and you are feeling unsafe and not in control of your own life. You feel that if I get Sheri to not feel safe and not feel in control, then I won't be alone. I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to understand it. You know, you got to encourage people. No two people were created the same. My mom had 3 girls. We're all from the same mother and father, same DNA, but we're completely different. We have a lot of similarities and characteristics, but I lost my team. But we're individuals. You know, as I got older, I had different experiences, and I feel them differently. So, reorganize is to change the way in which something is organized. Do I need to change the way I think? Do I need to change the way I react? Do I need to change my beliefs? Do I need to change the way I behave? Do I? Do you? Have you reevaluated yourself? Do you feel trapped? So what are some things that you can regroup, prepare, reorganize in your life? So I wrote down health and fitness, finances, family activities, socialization, your home, and your business or your career. I chose those because those are the categories that I am reorganizing in my life. Because again, I self-evaluated and said, Sheri, why are you losing your marbles? Why are you taking on too much? Why do you not know how to say no? Why can't you shut that water off? Why do you have to have a pitcher with a hole in it? You know? So, fitness goals, I could say I'm finding excuses. I'm in the fear zone. What's going to happen, Sheri? You get up at 3 a.m. and never sleep again? Or I just don't feel like it today. Like, what's my excuse? My excuse is that I just don't feel like doing it. I'm lazy. Now, you ask anyone else around me, they'll say, oh, you should see what she does in a day. I wouldn't call that lazy. That's just my excuse for why I'm not exercising. As far as health-wise, I focus on the natural vitamins and things that I put into my body. And I love chocolate. I love sugar, but sugar's bad for you if you have too much, And diabetes, it's in my family. So, I have to watch out. Finances? Well, the pandemic, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. A lot of people lost a lot of money. A lot of people don't feel safe. They lost jobs, they lost businesses, they lost homes. So yes, they're probably losing their marbles. But again, if you worked so hard to get to where you are, and the pandemic has brought you completely down, are you going to use the pandemic as an excuse for why you can't get back up? Sure. If you're done and you're tired, sure. You've made that decision. Stay down. But I don't want to hear your excuse of why you're down. I don't want to hear it. Stay down. But I don't want to hear it. I don't. That's me shutting the water off. Think I'm being hard on you? You should have seen how hard I was on my father, who was paralyzed trying to walk out of his friggin' wheelchair. I loved my father to death, but I was hard on him. Damn straight. He wanted to walk again. Think I'm gonna do? Baby him? No. Last thing a father wants is for his daughter to see him act like a baby. Come on. Grow up. A dad to a girl is her hero. And her mom is her superwoman. So, and if you don't have either, you had a mentor who filled those voids. No excuse. No excuse. I can't give you an excuse for not exercising. So if I end up with diabetes or a stroke, then that's my fault. Okay? And if we think about finances, this is the year to literally regroup all of this. Maybe you didn't lose a lot of money. Maybe you gained money. Who knows? But there is something that you can do to reorganize any one of these categories. Health and fitness, eating right, sleeping right, meditating, breathing right, exercising, finances, saving more, investing, being more diverse, taking risks, not taking risks. Change something. Family activities and socialization. Well, we can socialize virtually now, right? I miss being able to do fun things like dancing and hanging out and being with my sisters and my family and my friends. I miss the socialization. They're key points to are helping us release. Maybe your sister went through something that you haven't gone through, and then you started going through it, and they have a great, way of that they handled it. And no, I'm not saying that you're talking to somebody that is trying to pull you down. I'm talking about the people, the support system that you have that pulls you up. We all need a support system to help us go up. Up and out, right? And then I have your home. If you lost your home, you're living out of your car, you're living in a hotel, you rent, you own. Is there something you can do? For me, it's figuring out how I can lower some utility bills and reinvesting into the house. That's for me. You might have a whole different scenario. If you're living in a car, you might say, this is for me, or you might say, geez, I need to figure out how to get a roof over my head other than my car. And that's for the person that wants to get out of the comfort zone, not for the one who wants to stay in it. Although, you'd save a lot of money that way, but, depends on how you look at it. And then your business or your career. Do you need to take a class? Do you need to diversify yourself in your career? Do you need to change careers? Did you lose your job? Do you need to find a job? Let's reorganize our life as a whole. Although that may seem too overwhelming for people. That may make people feel like they're losing their marbles. To try to change and reorganize all these characteristics at once. Some people can only do one thing at a time. Other people can multitask. But what happens when you're multitasking, and you're a person that can only do one task at a time? Imagine them losing their marbles. So there's 5 ways that you can regroup yourself. You can streamline your life. You can begin something new. Start a practice. Be in nature. And take a trip. Now for me, one of the first things I would do, because I wouldn't do it in that order, I would put myself in nature. Whether it's walk or hike in nature, swim in the ocean, swim in a lake, swim in a pond, go camping in the woods, have a campfire. If you can't get to the woods, maybe have a campfire outside, plant a garden, anything that has to do with Mother Earth, okay? Then what I would probably do is I would take a trip, whether it's a staycation trip at my house where I shut the phones and everything off and I just relax for myself, whether it's meditation, eat candy, binge on Netflix, whatever it is. Technically, before the pandemic, I would go and put myself in a hotel room for a night or two to regroup myself, And when I do that, it helps me think of what I want to do as far as streamlining my life. So here it's saying streamlining your life could be decluttering your living space or clearing out your mental and emotional clutter. So before I can even get there to even see that, I need to be in nature and I need to take a trip for myself, Just, I don't care if it's going to a masseuse and the day at a spa. It helps you relax, it helps you rejuvenate, and it helps, helps you think, okay? Also, when we start decluttering our house, we're opening up for more room for other things to come into our space and into our life. Start a practice. It could be spiritual, physical, or educational. Well, you can't start something new if you're completely cluttered mentally and emotionally, right? So you have to declutter. But decluttering can make people feel overwhelmed as well. It can make them feel like they're losing their marbles. And then when they feel overwhelmed by that, they shut down. So for me and what I've been doing, so I technically started losing my marbles when I was born. No. I started losing my marbles, I want to say, at the beginning of the week, maybe at the end of last weekend. And I've been doing sound bowl healing. I've been taking walks. I've been doing meditation. I've been drinking my teas. I've been turning myself off of the phones. So I'm just trying to regroup myself and keep my energy, you know. I do have a quote. It's called "Successful people fail more. Learn, fail, recover, regroup, and retry" by Brian McGill. I'll have to reread that because I mixed up a word or two. Successful people fail more. So fail, learn, recover, regroup, and retry. Now, what I want to do is I have these cool affirmation cards that I got in. So they're called Affirmators. I'm going to try them. I'm going to try them. Shuffle them, and then I'll pull one out and we'll see if it was, you know, had anything to do with what we're talking about tonight. You know what I mean? So what affirmation guidance do the spirits want us to focus on? You know? I typically shovel this way. They're brand new, so. What do they want us to focus on? What do the spirits want us to focus on? You guys all watched me shuffle. It says personal growth. As I move toward greater consciousness, I feel old thoughts and habits fall away. Like training wheels on a bike, they helped me get to where I am. But now that I can ride, I don't need those slow and crummy wheels, except when I'm making big analogies. It's like a frog on a trike. So, personal growth. I wonder if that helps us with regrouping ourselves and reorganizing ourselves. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight and for watching this later on. Sheri Sip and Think Chat next week, or excuse me, not next week. My next Sip and Think Chat is actually going to be on March 11th, and the topic's going to be cabbage and carrots. If you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to comment because your input matters. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night.